You share the pressure of being a PK.
Yeah, well, the pressure was quite tough, always having to live up to people's expectations. I'm a semitologist. Beauty is a calling.
Okay.
Because I find that in this space, you actually not just performing a treatment, but you're also changing people's lives. You're also changing the way they feel and view themselves.
Okay.
Because it really is skin deep. And then everything else is just vanity.
Well, talking of diabetes, well, you are also involved in a cancer campaign. Tell us about that campaign.
Yeah, so especially for the Pink Bra movement, and I specialize as well in areola reconstruction.
Okay.
And that is for women who have survived breast cancer.
Okay.
So literally, if the breasts were removed, I could create a nipple in 3D. We also established that everybody currently now cannot solely rely on one source of income.
Okay.
So even if you have a day job, you can still acquire a side hustle. That coffee, I actually toured Africa with.
For real?
Yes.
Quantum Zrenga wokumzansi boy Isugile boy. Let's go right to the sound of good times.
Another day, another dollar, another podcast, another episode, another opportunity to inspire and transform lives. Areola, welcome to another exciting episode of iQuantum Podcast. Podcast yasekhaya, podcast yomphakathi, podcast yabantu. Bafethu, we are coming to you live from Edenvale esikolweni bafethu. Phandaku sisesigela, siyageleza, yabo. So, bafethu, as always, you know, phakathi kweQuantum, I'm never rolling solo. So, Phandaku, the passenger city, we are rolling with the one and only Mario V. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together for Mario V. Mario V, Mario V. Mario.
Yes.
What's up, Mario?
Good, and you?
You good, you good.
I'm great.
Wow, good to see you, hey?
Right?
Yeah, man. Welcome to Quantum.
It's always a pleasure.
Most definitely.
Right? Can enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Have you been inside the Quantum before?
Yes, I have.
When was the last time you were inside the Quantum?
Ages.
Do you remember the year?
Oh, not quite.
But how was the experience?
Different.
Okay.
But I think we also relied on quantums to get us to our destinations much quicker than normal.
Most definitely.
So I think it was a good experience, though.
Yeah. Tell us, who's Mario V?
So Mario V is a beauty enthusiast, beauty mogul. I'm a celebrity makeup artist, a medical esthetician, permanent makeup artist, which is what I currently specialize in. So quite a few things all packaged in one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you say quite a few things all packaged in one, like, can you just break them down?
I'm a semitologist, medical esthetician, permanent makeup artist, yes. So I'm also an entrepreneur.
Semitologist, what is that?
So I specialize in everything beauty holistically.
Okay.
From the physiology and anatomy of the body to skin, nail technology, massage therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
Why am I asking you this? This is a career episode. So we just want to introduce people into new careers, understand?
Oh, brilliant.
Because like even myself, it's the first time I'm hearing of such term.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sure, because we learn every day.
Right, 100%.
Well, take us through your upbringing.
Right, so I'm born and raised in a town in KZN, Durban, called Wentworth.
KZN, stand up. We just had Sweet Kuluva last week. He just won. No, not here.
Yes.
My point is, he just won Big Brother and he's from Durban. So there's something special about that province.
No, it is. I think most of the talent comes from Durban.
Sure.
Right?
Most of the talent. Yeah, I love the word most.
But not all.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So I'm born in a town called Wentworth in Durban.
Okay.
In a little city or town actually. And the area I'm coming from is actually called the Stocks. It's the Bronx of Wentworth.
Okay.
Right?
Is it a colored area?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
it's
okay.
currently now mixed.
Okay.
So I was born and raised there. My parents are both ministers. My dad is a pastor, my mom an evangelist. I have...
Sounds like everyone is the PK. You know what is a PK?
Yes.
So, but most of the people are PKs, but they off ramp.
Wow.
We're not talking about you. I
Right.
said most of the people,
Yeah.
they off ramp.
I guess we all go a little bit off as we maneuvering our way through finding
Can you share the pressure of
ourselves.
being a PK?
Yeah, well, the pressure was quite tough. Always having to live up to people's expectations. Always having society always looking and staring at you, watching your every move, waiting to actually judge your parents.
Okay.
So it was quite tough, quite difficult. We were also
do you
very
think-
sheltered.
Do you think that is one of the reasons people, most of the PKs, they hate church?
I think so.
It's too much pressure for
Too
them.
much pressure. Also, we're always being judged.
Okay.
Also for being human.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
I guess we all make mistakes.
Most
And we
definitely.
all learn as we
And
grow.
we all go through stages.
100%.
Sure.
So, yeah, there was lots of pressure.
Okay.
But we conquered.
Yeah, well, you were still walking us through your upbringing. So you said you were a PK, then I
Right. So
interrupted
then I have 8 siblings. Of the 8, I'm the youngest. So I
Okay.
have 8 sisters and a brother.
you. Yeah.
And yeah, so we were quite sheltered, very, the word I can use was, my parents were very strict,
Okay.
especially because of society, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is how we grew up, but it was a great upbringing. Also having to go through society, having to also find yourself, find your identity,
Sure.
right?
Do you think most of the pastors, they balance between being a pastor and a father?
I don't think so, actually. I think they definitely do put the church first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Where your dad is mainly always in the church.
Okay.
And then we were raised by our mom.
Yeah, but my question is based on like when he's at home, does he still behave like a father or a pastor? Okay. I know he's not a character, understand?
Yes.
Because of like many times as an actor, they will tell you that as soon as you get home, make sure that you take off that character,
Right.
leave it by the door, by the gate. So, but most of the pastors, I believe that even when he's at home, he still wants to be a pastor.
Right, 100%.
Sure.
So yes, I don't think he really found balance.
Okay.
Yes, there were times where he would be a father, but I'd say 90% of the time he was a pastor.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. At the age of 18 or 19, you were addicted to drugs. What was the cause of that? What led you into drugs, number one? Number two, how did you overcome that addiction?
Right, so growing up, you also try to fit in. So I was also battling with my identity, trying to find myself.
Okay, sure.
And you also are drawn to people based on wanting to fit in. So I experimented with drugs when I just matriculated.
Okay. So it's
And-
around 18 then.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I experimented with weed, and from there it just
No wonder you got
progressed.
dreadlocks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I experimented.
Yeah, but I also
with
got
that.
dreadlocks and
Right,
I'm not
but you
into
don't
it.
smoke
I'm not
weed.
into it.
So I experimented with weed, and then it progressed from there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't blame the company that I kept, but I would say it also peer pressure
Okay.
and also wanting to fit
Is
in.
it true that weed is a drug? Because some people they say it's a drug, and some people they say what is it? It's part of medication.
I guess there are different terms to weed, and also what the benefits
Okay.
that it does come with.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, it can be used medically.
Some they say when you're smart, it makes you more smarter. When you're dumb, you become more dumber. Is it true?
I would think so.
Okay.
I think also it does different things to different people.
They say it edifies whatever that you have.
I think it does. Also because it also takes you to a different place. You also like just zone out.
Yeah.
I used to mainly smoke weed just to switch off.
Sure.
Especially when I was overthinking.
Sure.
You know, it allows you to actually do that. So people use it for different reasons.
Sure. There's a
Yeah.
guy I know by the name of Tease.
Uh,
This year, early this year, he took a decision that he's gonna quit weed. Then
and
3
did
weeks
he?
later, I
He
found
was
him
back.
smoking. I was like, bro, so what happened to your New Year's resolution? He's like, bro, I think too much. Like, you know, I overthink when I'm sober.
Which
so
makes
these
sense.
things, it relaxes me.
It does actually. It does that for a lot of people.
Sure.
Actually, so like I said, yeah, people use it for different things. So,
Yeah.
Some also use it to be more creative.
Sure.
Yeah.
I remember I once watched Zwei. I think Zwei is Kabel. It was Zwei. Then he said when they recorded "Oh We Love This Place" by TKZ, they were high. And this is one of their best song ever. He said, I don't encourage people to do
smoke,
drugs,
yes.
you understand? But he was just sharing his story. So do you think at times it unleashed the beast in you?
I think it does. It also allows you to be more in tune with yourself,
Okay.
more in tune with your intuition.
Okay.
It does. I think it does.
Enough about weed. Enough about weed. Yeah, you were telling us about what led you into a drug addict.
Okay, so after experimenting with different kinds of drugs, also the industry I was in,
Yeah.
it allowed me to also stay abreast with everything that was going on.
Okay.
Also because it was easier to access.
Oh.
I found also that as time went on, I couldn't do without it.
Okay.
And by then it was already too late. It was now already addiction.
Sure.
And then when I really reached a point of it, now I was dependent on it.
They say it takes 21 days for habit to register in your system. So that means if you can smoke weed for 21 days, after 21 days you're already an addict.
Yeah. But I think it can be, you can actually quit if you put your mind to it.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I believe so.
I also believe that everybody has a turning point,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
So...
Last time we spoke off cam, you said you were bullied in school. That was one of the reasons you got into drugs. Can you share that story?
Okay, yes, I was bullied, but it wasn't one of the reasons.
Oh, okay.
I was bullied, yes, throughout school, but I think getting into drugs was mainly just to fit in,
Okay.
right? And I was also trying to find my identity, trying to place myself in society. And drugs also gave me the confidence,
Okay.
a false sense of confidence,
Sure.
to step out into society.
Because it's just a
boldly,
temporary confidence.
Yes. And then I battled with the addiction. I did try to stop, but then I battled with the addiction for like 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just one day I was like, I just had to, something got to give, you know?
Okay.
And I was like, no. It's either I choose to continue with the lifestyle I was in or build and work on my career. And I did the right thing and I worked on my career. And
Why did you quit? Did it affect your health? Or you just felt that, man, this thing is making me do crazy things that I'm not proud of?
when I did quit, to be honest with you, I was now dependent on it.
Okay.
I literally couldn't do anything without it. Like to get up in the morning, I needed it.
Okay.
To get through my day, I needed it.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just heading in a direction that I knew I was gonna be dead by now.
Let's have someone at home who's already addicted into drugs. How did you quit? Did you go to rehab? Or did you have any strategy that you used that helped you to quit?
Right, I did
Yeah.
actually. So I did go to a rehab long before I actually quit.
Okay.
My parents actually sent me into a rehab, and when I came out, it wasn't even 3 weeks. It was like 3 days,
Then you went back.
and I was back. But when I did quit, I actually did it for myself.
Okay.
You've got to want it.
Sure.
Or else it won't work.
Or you must decide.
Yes,
You must
you've got to make
sure.
that decision.
As long as your parents are still forcing you to quit, you won't quit.
You'll never quit.
Okay, cool.
You've got to make that decision to actually
Sure.
want it
Sure.
for yourself.
Right.
But all the tools that I used
Yeah.
or utilized
Yeah.
during that stage when I wanted it all came from past experience when I was in rehab. So I was equipped when I was there,
Yeah.
but I only used those tools later on.
Okay.
And it actually worked.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell us about your beauty school.
So my beauty academy is Unblemished BS Makeup and Nail Academy, and we are designed for young boys, young girls, well, people of all ages, to come in and acquire a skill, to go out there and equip themselves with a business, be it a home-based business, a salon, a beauty spa. So we equip you with all the necessary skills when it comes to beauty.
Okay.
Okay. We also established that everybody currently now cannot solely rely on one source of income.
Okay.
So even if you have a day job, you can still acquire a side hustle.
Okay.
And that is where most of our students are currently at right now. We'd have different programs from our 6 months to our 5 days, 3 weeks, 1 month. There's just a lot that one can come into the academy and acquire when it comes to beauty.
Sure.
We also have a branch in Durban and
Where's your first branch?
yeah, Edenvale.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted you to declare that because there's not everyone who knows that you're in Edenvale.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yes, our main branch is in Edenvale on
Sure.
the east side of Johannesburg. And then we have a sister branch in Durban.
Okay.
We also have a sister company called Serene Massage Therapy, which is a family spa where one can go and acquire a massage treatments from massage, facials, etc.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we grew up having our sisters owning salons and our brothers, understand? So, and most of them didn't go to school. Why does one has to go to school to operate a salon?
Right. So I think there's also a misperception about finishing matric and getting into beauty because you don't have to. But you do have to have a grade 10.
Okay.
Right? And in order for you to get into beauty.
Okay.
So beauty is mainly focused on the skill.
Okay.
So it's mainly skill based, and our academy is mainly skill orientated.
But some people, they say it's a talent.
It is a talent for most.
Do I
For
need
most.
to go to school to enhance my talent?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I think with any talent, you need polishing.
Sure.
You need to also understand the finer things.
Most definitely. That's why even now in
Yes.
football we have like the School of Excellence in academies.
100%.
Sure.
So you have to go to school to just to polish up your existing skills or talent.
Most definitely.
Like for most of us, like for myself especially, beauty is a calling.
Okay.
Because I find that in this space, you actually not just performing a treatment, but you're also changing people's lives. You're also changing the way they feel and view themselves.
Okay.
Because it really is skin deep. And then everything else is just vanity. And vanity has taken over the world. Women and men always want to look good.
Most definitely.
And that is why anybody in beauty is actually we're all doing well. And that is because you guys just want to look and feel good.
Okay.
And that is why we're here. Yes.
How did social media, especially Instagram, benefited your business or your field?
Okay. So for me, Instagram is more of a lifestyle. Right? And we sell a lifestyle on Instagram.
Sure.
So social media, it really did play a huge role into getting my business to where it is currently. Instagram on the whole speaks to a certain clientele.
Which is?
For me and my business, it speaks to the more high end. It speaks to the woman who wants to walk into our establishment and be served with, because we all...
Because I see most of celebrities are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, well now TikTok as well.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes, and we normally on Instagram we're selling a lifestyle, and because we are more of a wellness establishment, we speak wellness and to the body holistically and for health purposes. We more onto your natural vibes, your natural products. So clients that clients that actually are drawn to that would actually come into an establishment like ours, for instance. So that is what we normally sell on Instagram. So Instagram definitely works for us.
Why did I mention Instagram? Because of Instagram, it specializes in pictures. And now people, they see the need to make up and to look good so that they can have beautiful pictures.
100%. So yes, it does. But then again, with the different platforms speak to different people.
Sure.
Yes. So I also find that with TikTok, it speaks to a wider audience.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is where our reach is currently, because we do get majority of our clientele from TikTok.
From TikTok.
Yes.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and press the notification button buffet so that every time we are now so kibeli na kanjani. All right. So what is an iTech?
So iTech is an international accreditation, which you can acquire for a skills program, especially if you want to leave and go and work abroad.
Yeah.
So I am an iTech qualified permanent makeup artist, but a permanent makeup specialist, and that gives me the opportunity to travel the world.
Okay.
And
so you're international.
I'm international.
Wow, that's great. That's what's up. Yeah. Well, last time I remember we spoke of Cam. You told me about going to Dubai.
Yes.
Why Dubai? Why do you want to go to Dubai out of all the countries?
Well, Dubai is the hub of beauty, and that is where most of all the beauty trends actually start.
Sure.
And people globally all travel to Dubai to actually get the trends and the skills and then take it out and pass it over. I would come back and all the knowledge that I've acquired in Dubai, I'll come and I'll pass it over to anybody that comes into my establishment.
Okay.
So Dubai will definitely be my first stop.
So when are you going to Dubai?
Well, currently I have so much going on. I won't put a date on it, but
very soon.
Soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
And remember, you said you might not come back. Name celebrities that you worked with.
I've worked with so many. So it's Oskido, Black Coffee. I actually toured Africa with Black Coffee.
For real?
Yes.
Oh, how many
As a
countries?
makeup artist. We were in Namibia, Zambia, Uganda, when he was on tour.
Okay.
So I was just there as a makeup artist for backup dancers, himself, etc.
Does he make up before he go on stage?
That was especially when we're shooting.
Oh.
Yes,
okay.
everybody does.
Special music videos
Music
and stuff.
videos, yes.
Oh.
So we were mainly shooting wherever we went.
Okay, I understand.
And then it was Oskido, Khomutso Christopher, Louise Carver, Monique Bingham, who's currently back in the country.
Sure.
I just did her makeup the other day. We are actually on Thursday for the Basadi Music Awards.
Wow, that's great. Okay.
And yeah, that's just to name a few. And then there's Tolo Mutahung, Sampire Majola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Kapsile.
I think also Brenda.
Brenda
Yes.
from House of Zuide.
Sure.
Yes, we did her wedding actually in
Yeah.
Venda.
Remember I follow you on social media.
Yes.
Well, do you think our beauty industry is at a level where it's supposed to be?
I think as a country, we're getting there. We are definitely getting there.
Yes.
I do also would say anybody
Yeah.
that wants to get into beauty per se needs to also do their research. There are so many schools out there that have just popped up. Not many are accredited.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to get into beauty needs to actually do their research.
Okay.
Find out is the school accredited, are the facilitators that are training them actually qualified to do so, because there's just so many things going on out there. We've had students come in that were trained before and they come back to us because we are an accredited academy, and
Sure.
they mainly come, yes, for the skill and also just to get accredited certification.
Sure.
And that is what people need to actually pay attention to.
How do I check if the school is accredited or not?
Well, you can actually ask the school themselves for the accreditation
Obviously,
number.
they will lie to you.
No, you can actually
number.
use the accreditation number.
Okay.
You'll take that accreditation number. You can call into the CETA, the services CETA,
Yeah.
and go onto the website
Okay.
itself and actually check if the school is actually
Yeah.
registered.
Besides
Or
having more
accredited.
schools, how can we improve our beauty industry?
I think you need to be educated. You need to stay educated. You need to always be investing in yourself.
Sure.
Have to be investing in yourself, making sure that you are always aligned
Yeah.
with the industry, because the beauty industry evolves every day.
Yeah.
You have to always make sure you're actually going with the industry, where whenever things are changing, you have to be there ready to change
Yeah.
with the industry. So I think people need to just stay educated. You need to be skilled and never stop learning, never stop growing, or else you'll get left behind.
Okay. Well, you're in a very sensitive industry, well, especially when it comes to massage industry. So sometimes you find yourself massaging men, and men are very sensitive. At times you touch them at the wrong places or sensitive places.
You weren't supposed to be touching them there.
You are not supposed to be touching them there.
No.
Yeah, but sometimes someone, just by massaging them,
True.
something happens. So how do you deal with such situations or scenarios where you see that now the pool has raised the 10? How do you deal with such, especially with the women around the field?
Right. So anybody that goes into a professional academy,
Yeah.
you are trained
Okay.
to actually deal with such situations.
Sure.
So you definitely will have to take a step back, speak to your client, and just let them know, well, this is not what we actually do. And yeah, you're going to have to turn them down politely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's just unfortunate
Sure.
that a lot of men have this misperception that it's easier to go into a day spa and get a happy ending,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Than it is to actually walk into a brothel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's just what society thinks. But if the spa is professional enough,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
The therapists are trained to actually turn them down, and
Okay.
turn them away.
Okay. Tell us about your traveling experiences. What was your best country or even province?
Well, I've been traveling for quite a while. Well, mainly in the country.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, I think home is where the heart is.
Okay.
And that is another reason why I also opened up an academy in Durban.
Yeah.
And there's just something about Durban that is amazingly beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not just the architecture, but it's also the peace and serenity of the atmosphere, you know?
Okay.
So for me, I would always stick to Durban.
Devon.
Yes.
Mafunu Jaiva was a Devon. So fact Devon rocks.
It does, actually, it does. But yeah, but there's also no
Yeah.
place like Gauteng.
Okay. So what is LGBTQ?
So the LGBTQI plus is lesbian, gay, bisexual. It's yes. So that is what it means. So it's
Yeah.
everybody in the LGBTQ community fall under that umbrella.
Yeah. What do they
Yes.
do in that movement?
So the LGBTQ, especially, well, also there's also an organization called the Queer Movement,
Yeah.
the SA Queer Movement, which is a organization that speaks to the LGBT community and upholds the LGBT community.
Sure.
So we basically thrive on activism, where we are actually fighting for the LGBTQ rights,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that is what the movement is all about.
Okay.
Standing up for justice and for freedom.
Okay.
And that is what we fought for so long.
Sure.
Yes.
So is it involving our constitution?
It actually is. It
Okay.
actually is. And I'm sure you also listened to Cyril's speech not so long ago
Yes, I
where he's
did.
actually backing up the LGBT community.
Okay.
You know, because he also knows that the LGBT community also fought long and hard, just like everybody else,
Yeah.
who was fighting for freedom.
Yeah.
We all fought for the same purpose and for the same goals.
Okay.
You know,
But I see people now, they're supporting Banyana, and most of those women, they're part of LGBTQ. So it seems like people, they're accepting them finally.
yes, they are. And I think it's also a 50-50. Some people are still on the fence. Some people are also just still homophobic. But then we can't change people's mindsets, you know. We also can't change people's values.
Okay.
I think it's also each to his own, but people still need to just respect each other for who they are.
Yeah. Does load shedding affect your business?
Not at all, eh? And that is why we are so thankful and grateful to God for such.
Okay.
Because ever since load shedding kicked in, I think we only went off twice.
Okay.
And God has been with us ever since.
Most definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never experienced load shedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a backup?
I do,
Oh. no,
just in
now I
case.
understand.
But yeah, I do
Now
have
I
backup,
understand.
but
Yeah.
we've never
Yeah.
experienced load shedding. Yeah.
Our vet just went up a couple of weeks ago. What is your take on that?
Don't remind me. To be honest, I think it's going to be tough for many,
Okay.
especially businesses.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard one, hard pill to swallow.
Okay.
But I don't think there's much we can actually do,
Yeah.
you know.
How
So hopefully the Minister of Finance comes back to his senses and changes things.
Okay.
Because businesses will suffer. People will suffer.
Yeah.
Everyone, actually.
Yeah. Because obviously the price will go up
100%.
and petrol will increase very soon, I know.
True.
Yeah.
And it's like just the rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
Eish. It's bad, eh?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
What is MTY Productions?
M2I Productions is a NPO which was discovered between myself and two friends of mine.
Yeah.
And we are all from Durban but currently live in Johannesburg.
Okay.
And Yolandi and Tez are in pageantry. And because I'm also in the beauty industry, it just made so much of sense for us to collaborate.
Yeah.
And we collaborated to go back into Durban, into our hometown, and do something for the community.
Okay.
And we started doing pageants in Wentworth.
Okay.
And that was also to educate the youth on the importance of self-love,
Okay.
self-acceptance,
Sure.
and beauty holistically.
Sure.
Redefining what beauty means to them,
Yeah.
and also redefining what society has thought of them or what they think society.
I see most of the women are going bald now. Is it part of them gaining confidence?
A lot of women who are actually going bald, I think it's also because it's a lifestyle change.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
life switch. Because when a woman cuts, normally when a woman takes a drastic step like that, especially going bald or cutting their hair,
Sure.
their lives are about to change.
All right.
Yes. And I think, yes, for some, it's also a trend.
I saw even Tuku from Big Brother. She even made it to the last three, to the top three
She
of the
did.
group. And she was bold, and in fact, she's bold. She's beautiful.
She is.
She's confident.
100%.
Sure.
And I also find that most women that go bald are all confident.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
it is a confidence thing.
Okay.
You know, because imagine a woman walking into a room with no hair on, but still being able to radiate confidence and beauty
Sure.
holistically.
Sure.
So yeah, you've got to have it in
Okay.
order to pull that look off.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're still telling us about your organization.
The MTY.
Sure.
Right? So the MTY, yes, we do pageantry. So yes, so we actually training girls on how to actually, we want them to actually know that there's so much more out there or beyond what they see in the community. As you do already know, drugs has taken over every community.
Sure, most definitely.
And it's just unfortunate that in the lower class or the middle class communities, it's worse. So there. And that is all they know, that is all they see.
Okay.
So we just wanted them to see beyond that.
Okay.
And to know there is possibility out there. All you need to do is believe and trust yourself. And that is what we're doing. We're grooming these girls to be bigger than what they see.
Okay,
Yes.
that's lovely. Did you have any of your products participating in the global stage? Maybe Miss South Africa.
We
Miss
actually had
India.
for Miss Durban.
Okay.
Yes. One of our contestants was in Miss Durban.
Okay.
She's actually 3 of our runners up for last year's pageant. Were doing extremely well.
That's
One just
beautiful.
graduated with her LLB.
Okay.
We have 2 who, one is a chef.
Sure.
The other one is a special needs
Yeah.
teacher.
Okay.
And they're doing extremely well, especially in the modeling space.
Okay.
The one was actually 2 weeks ago on the cover of a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she was. She's also fighting for diabetes. She's an activist
Okay.
for diabetes. So there's a lot that we're actually introducing to the girls within the community to try and get them into different spaces on different platforms.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, talking of diabetes, well, you are also involved in a cancer campaign. Tell us about that campaign.
Yeah, so especially for the Pink Bra movement, I specialize as well in areola reconstruction.
Okay.
And that is for women who have survived breast cancer.
Okay.
So literally, if the breasts were removed, I could create a nipple in 3D.
How so?
Using, well, it's actually a tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and it actually it's identical.
Must
When
have
it's done, it looks so much like
Sure.
a natural
Sure.
areola.
Yeah.
So when we are actually in the Pink Bra movement, I actually do campaigns to get nipples done for women
Okay.
who have survived breast
Okay.
cancer.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I saw one of my friends, Josh, last week at their workplace. They were on that cancer campaign, and I saw them painting their hair and
Yes,
stuff.
you can. You can also cut your hair
Okay.
if you're brave enough. You can take
Okay.
off your dreads.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or paint them pink and
Pink,
stuff.
yes.
Oh, why pink? Why do
For
they
the
always
Pink
use?
Bra movement. It's called the Pink Bra movement.
Okay, is it for
Yes,
women?
It's for women.
Oh, that's why they chose the color pink.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you involved in Miss SA? Like maybe behind the scenes, like in
No.
makeuping them and stuff?
I do have a lot of Mrs. South Africa finalists
Mm-hmm.
that I kind of work with.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of portfolios, makeup,
Yeah.
also teach them how to do their makeup.
Okay.
So there's a lot that we actually do, but in different pageantry organizations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, beside the beauty industry, do you have any other qualifications?
Well, I'm actually a life coach.
Okay.
Yes, and that is the reason why I also work with the Rehabilitation Center.
Sure.
Yes, where I go in, and yes, I do speak a lot on beauty. And the Rehabilitation Center that I work with is actually in just outside of Boksburg. And it's dominated by the male
Okay.
markets
Yeah.
or industry, but we train them on how to reintegrate back into society.
Yeah.
And we speak mainly on the importance of self-love, self-care, hygiene, and what it's like to when they back out into society, and why we're speaking about self-care and self-love.
Okay.
Yes.
As a life coach, what do you do on daily basis?
Well, I'm always...
Let's say you are a full-time life coach.
Okay.
There's nothing else that you do.
If I
Remember,
had to
like,
be,
especially people like myself, I'm from the township. The only coach I know is a soccer coach.
Right.
When
Yeah.
someone is saying is a life coach, are you coaching my life?
Yes.
You're coaching me how to live. You
Literally.
understand? Yeah, so I want
Literally,
you to
yes.
break it down so that we can understand.
So literally, you're 100% correct. We are coaching you on how to live
Okay,
effectively, authentically,
sure.
holistically. So we literally take you from past experiences, why you actually accustomed to living a certain way, or why you're doing certain things, what led you to this point. So we're also breaking down barriers, breaking down walls,
Okay.
also allowing for one to acknowledge things like we've all made mistakes in the past,
Okay.
but forgiveness
Sure.
of self is the most important
Okay.
in order for you to overcome and get
So you're more of
past
a
and beyond.
therapist.
You
Okay.
can put it that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we help you cope.
So you
With
need
life.
to do psychology and theology for you to be a life coach. Or one of
Not
them.
to that level, not to that degree, but it does play a huge role
Okay.
into understanding one.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
So yeah.
So, well, pastors, they normally have a spiritual father. So that means a pastor also has a pastor.
Yes.
So as a coach, do you also need a coach?
You do.
Okay.
Yes, you do. I also have a lot of people that I actually call
Okay.
when I need any kind of advice. Yes, I do. I have.
Sure.
I also
So
have
a
my
coach is more of a
go-tos.
mentor.
A mentor.
Oh.
I do.
Okay.
I also have my mentor in beauty as well.
For real?
Yes.
Wow, and
Somebody
you're also
that I
mentoring a lot
pick-
of people. There's a
Yes.
lady that I met in Midland, and then she told me that she's mentored by you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So you have people that go around now wearing your name with pride. Like,
100%.
okay, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it plays a huge role, especially being equipped. Because
Okay.
you can't know it all,
Sure.
right?
Most definitely.
You can think you know it all, but you don't know everything,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that is why I also have a mentor who I can also pick up the phone and call, and
Yeah.
And I think that is important for all of us
Yeah.
to have that go-to.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, growing up in a colored community, I see you producing a lot of soccer players. So why are you different? Why are you in beauty? Okay, most of the colors are into soccer or gangsterism and stuff. How did you survive gangsterism yourself?
Oh, I think like I mentioned earlier, my parents were very strict.
Oh, okay.
We were very sheltered.
Sure.
So we literally couldn't even do much.
Yeah.
We weren't even allowed to have friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
So I think that
You
also
spend
because
most of your times indoors.
yes, indoors.
Okay.
And I think also my parents made us grow up as siblings. We were friends.
Sure. Your friends
didn't-
became your siblings. Or your siblings
We
became
became
your
our friends,
Sure.
yes. So we didn't have room for anybody else.
Sure.
And that's how they kept it. You know?
So it helps.
Yes, it did. It
Yeah.
did. It kept us off the street.
But I believe at times you become antisocial.
I guess also because I was the last born. My sisters were already now leaving the homes. They were getting married and.
Sure.
So by the time my parents had to still deal with all my drama, they were like, oh,
Yeah.
they were more chilled actually.
Okay.
And also times had changed over the years.
Sure.
So I was also more aware, or I was also street smart.
Okay.
I
Oh, you're
was-
streetwise.
Yes. I was
For
given...
someone that grew up inside the house, nah, I find it hard to believe.
Serious. I think after matric, it was like, that's when I just blossomed.
Oh,
Yes, and I became my own.
sure.
Because now I was out of school, I was in college, I was able to explore more.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did everything my siblings didn't do.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Is it true that you are a product of your environment?
I don't think so. I think you're a product of your upbringing, and that is totally falls onto your parents.
Okay.
You're a product of them, because you can be in the worst place, but
Sure.
if you are given the proper guidance and instilled with the proper values
Sure.
and prayer, because I have praying parents and we were taught to pray, your environment will never
You know,
sway
even criminals pray.
Yes, they do.
So this is a sign that the prayer is very important.
It is.
Sure.
It's
We-
the only thing
we
that
can't
gets
live
us
without
through.
prayer.
Can't.
Sure.
100%.
Okay. How do we enroll to your school?
Right. So if you want to enroll at Unblemished Beauty, you can actually follow us on our social media platforms.
Okay. Let's share your handles.
On Facebook, it's Unblemished Beauty Makeup and Nail Academy. On
Sure.
TikTok, it's at Unblemished Beauty 1.
Sure.
And on Instagram, it's at Unblemished Beauty.
Okay.
Or you could also follow me on my personal TikTok. It's
Sure.
Mario V. At
Okay.
Mario V.
All right.
Yes, and yeah, you can send us a inbox, a DM. You can get us on WhatsApp. And yeah, call into the academy. You can also come into the academy and actually view our premises. We are at 6 Terrace Road, Edenvale, Eastleigh, Johannesburg.
Do you offer in bursaries?
Well, I actually was doing some work
Okay.
with Alex FM,
Yeah.
where we were giving away some bursaries and stuff like that. So basically, when we do it's more on the 16 days of activism, where we actually run all our programs, bursaries, etc.
Okay. Well, you said you used to, so that means you don't do it anymore.
No, well, we did last year. The 16
Yeah.
days of activism is soon to come. We're in
So
December around
Should
there.
we expect one this year?
Yeah, so it depends on who we're going to be giving the bursaries to, because what we normally do is we get people to write in motivations, letters,
Yeah.
and then we actually go out and meet the people that who actually wrote in to us.
Yeah.
Because you also find that people can afford to come, and they just would want the bursary. So we mainly focus on people who really can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, times have changed, eh? A lot has changed. I saw Grant Kekane, it's Grant Kekane from Mamelodi Sundowns. This guy is very proud of his manicure now. Like, back in the days, it was so weird to see a man doing the manicure and pedicure.
100%.
So do you have a lot of male clients?
To be quite honest with you,
Yeah.
almost 80% of my clientele, when it comes to treatments,
Sure.
are guys.
Is it?
Yeah.
So do they come for manicure, pedicures, and makeup? Okay.
Facials religiously.
Sure.
Yeah, that is the thing.
Yeah. Can you
Also-
remove the wrinkles?
Definitely.
How so?
There's certain treatments that you do in order to remove, like those are called crow's feet.
Oh,
When you
okay.
smile and you see the lines,
Sure,
those
sure.
are called crow's
Yeah.
feet.
Should I come? Should I come?
Why not? Right?
All right, I'm booking an appointment. It's really worth next episode. You bring him now.
Right? Smooth.
Sure.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, even frown lines, there are treatments that actually work for those specific things.
What causes that?
You're aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I understand
all
that, but I
getting to
believe
age.
also, if you don't rest enough.
Not only that, the skin, as you age, or as you mature rather,
Oh,
the skin
okay.
starts to lose elastin.
Okay.
And as it starts to lose elastin, everything starts to drop.
Sure.
Yes.
Anzwile bafite ngiyaguga yo. That's lovely. Well, it's all about information and knowledge more than
100%.
Sure. Well, in closing, any closing message to our subscribers?
Right, so all I'd like to say is anybody listening to us right now is never procrastinate. If you're thinking about getting into the beauty industry, then now's the time.
Okay.
It's
now or never.
Now or never.
Sure.
It is now or never.
Okay.
Yes, and also one of my affirmations, I love affirmations,
Yeah.
is every morning when I'm getting ready for work, I'm sitting in front of my vanity.
Sure.
And when I'm painting my face, I always remind myself that I'm engineered by God for success.
Okay.
And that without Him, I can do nothing. So that is my affirmation every day.
Sure.
And as long as God is the director of my path,
Yeah.
I will always be successful because
Sure.
He's engineered me for that.
Philippians 4 verse 13, we can do all through Christ who strengthens us. Just to support your
Right.
statement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's me from your boy Camp Snatch. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We are Equantum Podcast on all socials. Please tell them to subscribe to your channel.
Right. Don't forget, subscribe to Unblemished Beauty Makeup and Nail Academy and at Mario V on TikTok. And you can get us on all our social media platforms.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, siyabonga bafethu. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Till we meet again next time. That's it from me, your boy Camp Snatch. Areola. Thank you, Mario. Away.